YouTube, it's me, Spooky Memphis, here back at you with the 100 Days of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where every day for 100 days, we're dueling with a different deck every single day. Today is the 97th day of the 100 Days Yu-Gi-Oh! And we're taking a look at a deck that's called handTrap Hijinks, which is a much more family-friendly name than the last time we did a deck like this. It's a deck primarily based around hand traps and cards used in the hand with some other very trolly sort of cards in the deck. And basically the idea of this deck is to go second, interrupt what the opponent's trying to do over and over again at the most critical times to try to get the advantage on them. And so we have ourselves our deck here today. We're going to be going up against many opponents with it and showing what it does, showing off the combos and the wombos and the what do's and the what not do's. And a big shout out to Mr. 7880 who asked us to take a look at this particular sort of deck today. So hopefully it's exactly what you were looking for, sir. So we have our deck here today. We're going to go into it. It's a brand new format, so it's going to be interesting to see what people are playing today. So we have our deck. If you want the whole deck profile, it's going to be at the end of the video as we usually do. For now, please consider all the buttons below, the like and the comment and things like that. And without further ado, let's get started. Alright everyone, it's time for our first opponent. Another day and another card game in a brand new format. We do want to go second with this deck. For a lot of the cards that we're playing, we do want to go second. And this opening hand looks pretty good. I got my Mulcharmy, and I've got a Ghost Sister Spooky Dogwood. And I also have Ghost Spell. A lot of hand traps already in our hand, but that's what you want to happen. So what is this doing? Drawing 2 cards. Okay. We'll wait for my opponent to play something that special summons a card. And then we're going to use our Mulcharmy here. So, yeah, Armageddon Knight. Summoning a monster. Let's go ahead and I'm going to activate my Mulcharmy Foolos, which is our hand trap that we are using for the most part in this deck. You have no cards, you discard this card, and then for the rest of this turn, if my opponent summons any sort of thing from the deck or the extra deck, I'll get to draw more cards. Now, depending on how many cards he does summon, Foolos could do more or less. It really just depends. Oh, you're playing Horus too. Alright, well that does mean a lot of cards, doesn't it? Unfortunately, I'm not playing the Mulcharmy that's for Graveyard. I do have that in the side deck, but not in the main deck, unfortunately. So, let's see here. Alright. So, he is going to summon out all of the Horus monsters at some point. At least one of them, okay. Oh, and Happy is also in the graveyard. That's not great. I think this is still okay, though. I mean, I could have used Ghost Sister earlier, but the thing is, if my opponent just ended their turn, I would have lost a lot of life points, so it's probably better to not do that. So now we've drawn into our Bystial Baldrake, which is nice. Now I have another hand trap I can use. So we'll see what else my opponent can do. He's got the Photon Lord stopping my monster effects, which isn't great. Let's see. And this is going to... Yeah, let's go ahead and use Ghost Sister just in case. This will also bait out his Photon Lord. That's a lot of what this deck is about. You know, it's about trying to interrupt my opponent's board making and stuff. Now, he can stop Spooky Wood, but that's just fine, I think. Yeah, I think that's okay. For now, though. You know, I got Baldrake. I can banish my opponent's light dark monsters, which it doesn't work too well against Horus, but to an extent it does. So we'll see. So, okay, that's exactly what I wanted to draw into here. So we'll wait until the end of my opponent's main phase, and then we're going to hit him with our Nibiru. Unfortunately, he has a lot of big monsters, so I got to work hard to get rid of the Nibiru token, but that's okay. This is a monster we definitely want to draw with our Foolos, because it's all about hand traps, you know? That's the thing about this crazy card game. Everyone talks about, like, what's a good and what's a bad. What all we care about here is trying to, you know, break through boards and stuff. That's what the game's about. It's about breaking through boards, and that's what Nibiru is good for. He's just a board-breaking sort of monster. Let's see, what is this doing? What is it? Let's see. Add a monster from the deck or the graveyard. I think we'll go ahead and activate our ghost spell here. That's right, more hand traps. That's right, it's nothing but hand traps. I hope you don't mind. Okay, so we've stopped yet another monster from using its effect. Like I said, as soon as they've done enough, and probably I could have let that go, honestly. But this works just as well, because now he's going to want to go into more cards. And we've drawn into our Druid's Worm, which is even better. This guy's at 1 now. Originally, this deck was going to have this at 3, because it's such a good card. But that's kind of why it got hit, is because it's so good. Let's see. Okay, bringing back a monster. I'm not fine with him summoning whatever he wants. Like I said, I have a giant rock. And as long as I have a giant rock, I'm good. So, let's see. You're going to use Galatea's effect. Yeah, that'll get you your spell trap. But any spell trap you think is going to help you won't help against my giant rock. That's right. You can't stop this thing. It's too powerful. Now, he will get his field spell, so all of his monsters become quick effects. Which is kind of daunting, but at the same time, it's whatever. I think the only thing I really need to worry about at the moment is King's Sarcophagus. Because as long as this is on the field, my opponent can just keep reusing his Horus cards. So, it's a tricky thing to say when we have to get rid of... I mean, I have cards to get rid of this. I just have to draw them, you know? Although I could just go for Nightmare Phoenix, I suppose. That would work just as well here. So, yeah, I think that'll be fun. With, like, the hand we have, thanks to Fuelos, we should be fine. Now, I do want to remind myself that Fuelos has another part of his effect. So the number of cards on my hand's more than the number of cards on my opponent plus 6. So, basically, if he ended on almost nothing and I had, like, a lot of cards, I'd have to get rid of cards. But I don't think that's going to be the case. My opponent has, you know, 4 cards, so I'd have to have 10 cards in my hand to get rid of anything. So I'm okay. I think we'll be fine. So yeah, Gizmek Orochi. Let me think about this. I am going to... actually, again, that's fine. That's fine. I could stop the Gizmek Orochi if I wanted to, but I really don't need to. I do wish that Spooky Dogwood had actually worked earlier, but it's actually better that we stopped him from, you know, doing other things. So, I think my opponent's almost done with their turn. It's kind of hard to say. Let's see. What's this doing? Target a banish card, add it to your hand, shuffle a card. Alright. I mean, basically he's going to get his counter trap back, which isn't great. But he needs a link monster for that to work. So, again, once I drop the giant rock on him, I don't think it's going to be a good day for this gentleman. It's not going to be a good day for them once I finally hit them with the giant rock. So, that's what we're going to do. We'll summon out Nibiru, the Primal Being. Give my opponent... Well, there you go. So, not the most intuitive kind of play here, but that is essentially what this deck wants to do. We just want to use our hand traps to get the advantage on the opponent. It's a very trolly strategy, but that's how it works, basically. You know, you got your Fuelos, you let your opponent do certain things so that they build a board, but you stop them from doing other things that could hurt you, and then you drop a giant rock on them. It's very straightforward. So, good for the first duel, I guess. I mean, you get a taste of what the deck is going to do. And next turn, I was going to use all these Bystial monsters to remove my opponent's whole graveyard almost. And then I had other things as well. So this is definitely a game I was going to win. I don't have any doubts about that because he couldn't use his trap card. So let's go for duel number 2. And hopefully have an opponent that'll do a little bit differently, and we'll do some different stuff too. That's, so we can show off everything this deck can do. Alrighty, everybody, second opponent. Let's go and do it again. You know what really grinds my gears, everybody? It's when, we play this card game and we build our decks around, like, what cards we want to play. And then Konami drops a new ban list on us, like, out of nowhere. That really gets on me, because I really wanted to go for all of my Druid's Worm action today. But unfortunately, Konami was like, no. They was like, no today, but that's neither here nor there. So, what are we playing against? 7th Tachyon. Adding different monsters. Okay, well, I do have my ghost sister, so we'll see if this is going to go. And now the mouse is acting up. That's weird. Okay, so he has X Ryzeal, which just got hit to the limited list. So we're seeing something. Certainly going to be seeing some sort of combo here. So yeah, X Ryzeal is going to use its effect. Let's go ahead and use Ghost Mourner here to stop X Ryzeal from using its effects. So that'll at least slow my opponent down a little bit. Yeah, better than me using Ghost Sister for certain. And let's go ahead, because he has a monster that's a Light Dark in the grave. Let's remove it from play and summon out Bystials and Gorz. I was originally considering playing more Bystial cards in this deck, but I find that this is just fine. You know, like, there's certainly more I could have put into Bystials, like their actual boss monster. But we already have other things we can use as boss monsters, so I didn't decide to do that. But let's go ahead and get our Druis Worm for now. We're going to use Bystial Lebellion's effect as soon as my opponent, you know, is okay with that. Yeah, because I can send off Serenir to the grave to revive our Lebellion. Now, when sent to the graveyard, Serenir does allow me, let's see, I can get back one of my spell traps, so remind me. Yeah. Oh, did I forget to play the, oh, I didn't play the spell in here. That's fine. I don't need the spell card. The spell card would have been nice, but it's not a big deal, you know. I probably could have played that, but it's all good. Okay, so you had impermanence this whole time. That's fine, actually. You know what? You'll play a hand trap, I will play a hand trap. That is how the game goes. You know, it's a game of hand traps, no matter what the new ban list has to say. So we'll summon out Magnum Hut, and this will get me another Bystial in the end phase. And let's go ahead. I'll save my Druis Worm just in case. Let's just go ahead and attack my opponent with our two monsters. I think that's plenty. I mean, one copy of Ghost Mourner stopped their whole combo. I can't imagine their hand's very good. That's what happens when you know, don't build your deck up right. So let's see. I get a lot of things. I could go for Albaz for potential super polying. I could go for another. I think. Let's go for Fallen of Albaz just for some variety and stuff. You know, because we have enough hand traps at the moment. Let's go for some other stuff. And my opponent surrenders. Okay. Well, that's what happens when you didn't build your deck with, like, contingencies and stuff. You know, you gotta be prepared for that sort of thing. Yeah, you know, I would say nicer things about it, sir, but you really kind of did nothing after this got stopped. So that's all on you. So let's go for a third opponent, possibly a fourth. We'll see how it goes. Because this is really what the deck is going to be doing today. We're just trying to, you know, interrupt my opponent before they can get started. You know, drop big rocks on my opponent, that sort of thing. So let's go for third opponent and see if we can find someone that can really test how good our deck is. Alrighty, everyone, it's time for the third opponent, the fighting third and all that stuff Memphis talks about. Anyway, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing, going second. We have an interesting opening hand, I guess. I can go for my kind of alternate boss monster in my deck, the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, which I know is not a hand trap, but it's nice to have a big monster like that just to, you know, add some damage to what we're trying to do. Statue of Anguish Pattern, okay. Okay. So this is a trap monster deck. That seems pretty neat. So what are we going to do here? I mean, I'm just going to activate my Fusion Destiny spell. Just to, like, activate that. And we'll see if my opponent has anything else that they can do. I mean, if he has a trap monster or something, that could be difficult for us. But I'm just going to summon out my Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, which is actually just as strong as his monster. So, you know, that's something. Let me double check my extra deck. I don't think I can fuse with that monster. No, because that's a... Is that a dark or an earth monster? It's an earth monster. Okay. That's fine, I guess. Let's just end our turn for now and see where this is going to go. Yeah, I still have my whole handful of hand traps, so I'm good in that respect. So it's really going to depend on what sort of cards these. I assume these are all trap monsters, but my opponent didn't play any of them, so that's kind of odd. It's hard to say. Little difficult to say what exactly they're up to, but I have my big monster on the field, so it's something. So let's go ahead and activate Destroy Phoenix Enforcer's effect, just to get that going. Oh. You're going to destroy my monster. Okay, well, his effect still activates, so he'll come back. That's really the reason we're playing, that's why we're playing our Phoenix Enforcer over something like Red Eyes Dragoon, is that he can just come back whenever he wants, and he also weakens my opponent's monsters and stuff, so it's pretty neat. So we'll summon back our Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, and let's do what we were trying to do before. I mean, if he keeps playing Solemn Strike, that's good too. It's costing my opponent life points, so I'll take it. Let's see. Oh, okay. Apopus. More Apopus, so that this can negate my card's effects. Okay. I mean, that's fine. I mean, he can destroy one of my cards. That really doesn't affect me that much. I mean, that sounds bad, but it really isn't. Because, his destroy... Let's see, hold on. Let's see. Yeah, let's activate our Ghost Ogre's effect to destroy his Statue of Anguish pattern. That won't save my cards, but it will stop him from having that monster. So we'll activate our Destroy Phoenix Enforcer's effect. And we'll activate Saranir's effect as well. So I can send one of my cards to the graveyard. Let me double check here. So I'm going to put Branded Regained into the graveyard. And then next turn I can get my monster back. Okay. Also, I'm going to activate Triple Tactic Talents to draw 2 cards, because my opponent did use a monster effect. This card is really starting to... Okay, this is a weird thing to say. Because of the new ban list and stuff, this card feels like Pot of Greed. Because it's like a one-off card. It's situational, but it does let you draw 2 cards, so I'm just saying. So let's activate... Yeah, let's use our Magnum Hut. We'll remove Saranir from the grave to summon out Magnum Hut. Once again, using all of our hand-trappy cards. I mean, if my opponent had monsters, this would have been better, but this works too. So we'll bring out our Bystial Rebellion, because he is our boss monster. At least in the, main deck-wise, anyway. So we'll summon out Rebellion, and his effect will get me the Trap card. That way I can get my spell as well, and we'll activate Triple Tactical Thrust, so I can get another card as well. It's really nice that he played a monster effect. I'm really grateful for that. So for now, let's see. I'm going to get Branded Fusion for later, just to have it. I'm not going to be able to play it. I could, but I don't want to play it right now. And my opponent's going to surrender. Okay. Well, that's understandable. I had a lot of hand traps, and I had a lot of big fusion monsters, so really that was going to overwhelm my opponent. They put up a good fight for, 2 seconds, I guess. But I guess they just didn't have enough cards to really, survive this. Although, he probably had the Apopus Fusion monster, so he probably could have kept going a little bit, but Ghost Mourner would have stopped Apopus, so I think we're fine. So let's go ahead for one more duel today. We're showing off what this deck is trying to do. My opponents, I think the new format is really messing with a lot of the people here, so we're not going to see too many crazy opponents, I don't think. So let's just go for one more duel, and I think that'll be good. Alrighty, everybody, our 4th and final duel of the day. Our deck has done very, very well, so I'm really glad for that. Let's see. I don't know how much he's going to summon from the deck, but I'll go ahead and use Fulros anyway. Just to scare my opponent. So we got our Mulcharmy going. And our hand looks pretty good for the most part. I mean, I've got my Bystial Saranir. I have my Nibiru. I've got the Fallen of Albaz. And we're up against the Ashened deck. Let's see. Face-up monsters. Opponent controls become Pyro. Okay, so he's got monsters that become Pyro or something. So yeah, he's going to get Ashen cards and do his thing. So we'll see how this is going to go. I don't know if this deck summons a lot from the extra deck or not, or the main deck for that matter, but we'll find out. So, yeah, I mean, for the most part, our deck is doing exactly what I want it to do. I mean, we have used hand traps. We have interrupted my opponent. I think the new format has really shaken up the EDO Pro. People don't know really what to play right now, and that's why things have been a little easier today. But at the same time, you know, this is a hand trap centered troll kind of deck, so I'll take full advantage. You know, I don't need to be the nice guy today. No, I'm already too nice of the guy normally, so I'm okay with this today. That I will take advantage of people's confusion, and I will play my hand trap deck too. So what does this do? Let's see. This summons another. Okay, so he goes from 1 monster to 3, which is cool. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's enough to. Let's see. Send a pyro monster. Add a monster. Okay. So you get this Vydos. Okay. I don't think he's going to summon enough for me to use Nibiru, though. That's the problem. I was really hoping he would, but I kind of doubt that's the case. Okay, so Vydos targets a field spell, summons it to the opponent's field, destroys the field spell. And if you do destroy that, let's see, destroy that card, add or set an Ashened card. Okay, you got the continuous trap here, which is a fusion trap card. Okay. Man, if he'd only summon 1 more monster, that would be great, because I could go for Nibiru. That would be awesome. I mean, these are all dark monsters, so my Bystial cards are great here. Oh, hey, he summoned out a monster from the deck. Awesome. And that's the 5th monster, too. So we'll wait till the end of the main phase, because that's always when you want to play Nibiru. That's always when you want to play Nibiru, is during the end of the main phase. Because otherwise, your opponent can still do things. So what is it? Let's see. Okay. This is perfect, actually. This works just fine. What is this doing? Oh, this is the fusion card. Okay. Alright, so now he's got a fusion. That's great, because I'll get to draw another card. I just need to be careful, because I don't know what my opponent's fusion does. So what does it do? Embers of the Ashened. Get back a field spell. Okay. This card battles an opponent's monster. Destroy that monster. And if it's your turn, do something. Does second attack. Okay. I mean, it's certainly a monster that can attack. I'll give him that. It can certainly attack. It does have a lot of attack points. But that's not really a big threat when I have a giant rock in my hand. Now, the monster I'm going to give my opponent, like the token, is going to be really big. So that is a bit of a, what do you want to say? That's a bit of a tricky thing here. Oh. Okay, that just makes the token weaker. Okay. So I'll get this. My opponent gets a token. I think this will be too big to beat over, regrettably, but we'll figure it out. Let's see. What is Vydos doing right now? Destroy all monsters on the... Oh, okay, that works too. Actually, that works perfectly well, because now I don't have to deal with the token. I mean, that takes away all of my damage and stuff, but I'll have to work with it. Okay. So, now it's our turn. Oh, yeah, another Mulcharmy. I don't think I'm going to use another one, though. I mean, I could, but I don't think I need to. So we'll see. So something's going to happen in the draw phase here. What I don't know. I don't know. Something's trying to resolve in the... Oh, maybe it's the Ashen trap card. Let's see. Banish this in a dark power from the graveyard. Okay. Okay, I think that's fine. So let's go ahead and activate Saronir's effect. We'll go ahead and banish one of my opponent's monsters. The question is which one. I'm not sure which of these is like the card to hit. I guess the small one. I don't know if it matters. I don't know much about this particular group of cards. I mean, I'm just glad that they're all dark, so I can literally banish whatever I want. But I figure I'll banish the small monster because that does search him card. So You know, in case they try to, like, summon or something. Well, let's go to our Bystial Sarnier. And, let's see. I almost wish we had Chaos Angel in this deck. That's the one thing I probably could have put that in. It would have been very, very infrequent that I actually play the card, but I certainly could have done that just to have another monster, but that's neither here nor there. I think it's fine. So we have our Bystial Sarnier. Let's go ahead and do I set the I guess we'll set the impermanence just in case we need it. You never know. So we'll see where this is going to go. We'll see. Because they still have their field spell. And they have, what does this do? Target a face-up card, opponent controls, and a monster in the grave. Send that card in the field. Alright. I'm going to activate Branded Beast here. Does this allow me to tribute oh wait, no, that doesn't work. Yeah, because all my monsters are pyro monsters now. Oh no, I didn't realize that. That's not good. Because normally I use this to tribute dragons to destroy my opponent's cards. But because of his field spell, I become a pyro type monster and I can't do that. That's not good. That's really not that good at all. Alright, so, yeah. I mean, that's just, yeah, he's going to get rid of my, my trap card. Well, that's unfortunate. I was really hoping he would go after my monster, but I guess he was too smart for that. So he gave me his big dragon. What does this do? This card sent to the opponent, yeah, destroys all the monsters in the field. I remember that part. But is he going to try and, oh, it's so cute. What does it do? If a monster is sent to your graveyard, increase or decrease this card's level. And this lets him do the fusion summon, but that's what I was prepared for. So we'll go for impermanence. And let's see. I guess I'll target his hero. It's going to use its effect, but... Or maybe he won't. Oh, okay. Alright. But yeah, we'll stop the trap card so I don't have to worry about being fusion summoned with. And so I get to keep his monster, but he does have the ability to... what was it? Yeah, I think you can just destroy it. Let me just double... Let's see. Sent from the field to... Is sent from your opponent's field to your graveyard. So if I link summon, that's bad, right? That sounds bad. That doesn't sound good. That's difficult. Let me think about this. I could fusion summon. Let me double check what my fusion's requirements are. Let's see. I could go for Titanic Cloud, who's ironically called the Ashen Dragon. I could summon... let's see. There's no light spellcasters on the field, of course. There are dark monsters on the field. There's no dragons, though, because of his card. There are... Oh, no, wait. Now I am a dragon. Okay. Is this a dragon? No, that's a pyro monster. That one's a pyro type monster. Okay. So, here's what we're gonna tend to... Maybe I should just attack. You know what? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna summon out the Fallen of Albaz. And we're gonna attempt to fusion summon here. And see what happens. Yeah. So we'll activate our monster's effect. We'll discard our Mulcharmy. Because while I have the field spell, I can't use my Mulcharmy anyway. And this will let me fusion summon. Monster with 2,500 more attack points. So we'll use his hero. And I'll summon out my Titanic Lad. It'll gain attack equal to the levels times 100 of what I used to summon it. So that's really cool. Now, can he fusion summon right now? He might be able to. I mean, if he can, that's what it is. But if this goes to the grave, he'll just destroy all the cards on the field anyway. So let's see here. I wish I had a different Exceed monster, maybe. But let's go ahead and enter the battle phase here. I think that's all I need to do. Unless he can play this trap card right now, which I think they can't. That should be enough. So let's go ahead and attack with all of our monsters. And that should be all we need to do. So, definitely a good time to play hand traps today. You know, it was kind of a different way to win with it this one, but, you know, my opponent gave me a big monster. I'm going to use it. So, let's go for the end screen, and we'll talk more about today's deck. Alright, everyone. So, handTrap Hijinks today did really, really good. You know, it's a new format, so everyone's really confused. So it was really the perfect time to play a deck like this where, you know, I know what I'm up to, my opponents maybe not so much. So it was a different time to be playing this deck, but I'm glad that it went out like this. So yeah, thanks for watching. Our hand traps did phenomenally well. Our Furos went into our giant rat. Our Bystial monsters were able to do, you know, stealing my opponent's monsters from the grave and summoning monsters to the field. We had all of our ghost girls ready to do all of their stuff, and we also had some big fusions, which I know that's not hand trappy or anything, but, you know, they were around too. I guess the only thing we didn't get to do was the Goddess of Sweet Revenge. That would have been really cool to set this card off, but this card only works when you're losing. That's the thing. It only works when you're losing a card game, so that I can't really facilitate that too well. And also Gorz didn't do anything, but he's at one in there, so regardless, I hope everyone enjoyed day 97 of 100 days of Yu-Gi-Oh! If you did, hit the like button and stuff. Come on, you know, we did pretty darn good today. I think we deserve a like or two. So here's the deck list for anyone who wants to know what our hand trap deck looks like, and you can have fun with it yourself. So for our main deck, we have 2 copies of Nibiru and 2 copies of Bystial Rebellion. We have a 1 Gorz, a 1 copy of Druid's Worm, since he's now limited, 1 Magnum Hut, 2 copies of Bystial Sarnier, and a Bald Drake as well. We have our 1 Destiny Hero Dasher and Celestial for our fusion. We have Goddess of Sweet Revenge and our Fallen of Albaz. 3 copies of Mulcharmy Fulos for our main drawing power in this deck. 3 copies of AshBlossom because she's the main Ghost Girl card. 3 copies of Ghost Mourner, which is really good for interrupting my opponent's special summons and potentially burning them as well. 2 copies of Ghost Ogre, which is a cool card. My opponent summons a monster and then it activates its effect right there and just interrupts by destroying that monster. 2 copies of Spooky Dogwood, which is really good. My opponent, you know, just starts special summoning a lot. It's really great if you can open up with this against certain opponents, but it does have a big steep cost, so that's why we're just playing 2 of it. We also have 2 copies, of course, of Ghost Spell, which can interrupt cards that involve the graveyard. We have our 1 Triple Tactic Talent, our 1 Branded in White as a cheeky sort of late game sort of tech card. 2 copies of Triple Tactic Thrust to search out spell traps. We have our Branded Fusion and our Fusion Destiny at 1. Because predominantly this is a hand trap deck, so we don't want to focus on these too much, but we have them if we need them. We have our Monster Reborn as well if we just need a monster on the field. We have our Branded Regain, which I took out of the side deck. 3 copies of Impermanence because it's the best hand trap, literally the best one. And then of course we have our Branded Beast as well for popping my opponent's cards. After the extra deck, we have things like Masquerena, the 3 Nightmare monsters, Little Knight, Typhon. We have a lot of the Albaz dragons like Albion, Titaniclad. We have Alba Lanatus, Lubellion. We have Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. We have the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, our Mirror Jade Dragon, our Sanctifier Dragon. And lastly, just as like an ultimate endgame boss, we have Dogmatic Calamity Alpha System, which we summon with our white spell. And it can be done, and it's a very tricky card to summon, but if we do, it's really cool. And as for the side deck, there's a couple cards in here. If you want a different boss monster other than the fusions, you can try for Bystia Albalos, which you summon by getting rid of 2 Bystial monsters on your field. So that can be potentially really good. It also interrupts like extra deck stuff. If you want more Nibiru, that's totally fine. Although if you need more than 2 rocks, I think you're just being silly, but that's just me. We have, of course, Thea, the primal being that goes with Nibiru. Not as consistent. You know, Memphis tried that deck before and it didn't work super well, so I didn't want to risk, you know, making his mistakes. So, you know, you could play Thea as well if you just want to destroy the token that Nibiru summons. but that's about what this is good for. They also have Exodius to recover all of your hand traps. Dimension Shifter is still at 1, and you could play this, although we are playing Bystial, so it might not be as good of an idea. There's also the other Mulcharmies, depending on what your opponent's playing, of course. You have Purulia, which is when your opponent summons from the hand. And then you have Meowls, which is if they summon monsters that are in the grave or the banished pile. This is probably the second best one. It really goes Fulos, and then Meow, and then Purulia in terms of like usefulness. So again, it depends on what you're playing against. There's things like DD Crow to remove your opponent's cards from play. There's Effect Veiler to just stop monsters on the field from using their effects. If you don't want to play any spell traps at all and just go purely into hand traps like the Mulcharmies and stuff, you can play things like Sekka's Light to just draw 2 cards. And if you're not playing any spell traps, the negatives don't really work. And then we have things like Call by the Grave, which is ironic to stop hand traps. We have Super Poly if you want to be able to interrupt your opponent monsters more. Emergency Teleport can summon any of the Ghost Girl monsters because they're all psychics except for, I think, Spooky Dogwood and Bell, but and Moaner. Okay, well, it can summon Ghost Ogre. It can summon her if you need it. And lastly, there's Dominus Purge, which is basically like AshBlossom number 2. But you really don't need to play this in this particular build unless you really wanted to not play AshBlossom for some reason, because it does lock you out of the effects of Dark, Water, and Fire monsters. So it's really it's something you could play, but probably not the best in this particular deck. So thanks everyone for watching today's episode. That was my last showing. I think I did pretty good. I know I had a very trolly deck, and my opponents were very confused as to what to do with it, but I kicked butt, I'd say. So I'll see you guys again after the 100 days is over, and I'll show up for a minute during the finale, but for now, thanks for watching. Tomorrow is going to be a Super Quantum deck, which I kind of wish I got to play that so I could show how good I am at this game compared to Memphis. Sorry, but I think maybe. But yeah, we're playing Super Quantums tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you again next time. So stay safe and happy, and everyone have a good day. Take care.